Finally, they made it to the stables. Yemi had already prepared a horse. "This is as far as I can go," Yemi said. "Ride east towards the coast. There's a small fishing village there where my uncle lives. Tell him I sent you. He'll help you." Amina hugged Yemi tightly. "Thank you," she said. "I'll never forget your kindness." With that, Amina climbed onto the horse and rode off into the night. She rode hard, afraid that at any moment she would hear the sound of the chief's guards chasing her. As the sun began to rise, Amina saw the ocean in the distance. Her heart leapt with joy. She was almost safe. But then she heard the thunder of hooves behind her. Looking back, she saw a group of the chief's guards gaining on her. Amina urged her horse to go faster, but she knew they would catch her soon. Just as the guards were about to reach her, Amina saw the beach ahead. Without thinking, she leaped off the horse and ran towards the water. The guards shouted and ran after her. Amina dove into the waves just as the sun peeked over the horizon. The guards stopped at the water's edge, watching in amazement as Amina's legs transformed into her mermaid tail. With a final look back at the shore, Amina dove deep into the ocean. She swam faster than she ever had before, her powerful tail propelling her through the water. Soon, she was far beyond the reach of the chief and his guards. For many days, Amina swam in the open ocean. She wasn't sure where she was going, but she knew she couldn't go back to her old village or to the chief's town. She made friends with the sea creatures and explored beautiful coral reefs, but she still felt lonely. One day, as Amina was swimming near the surface, she heard a strange sound. It was like singing, but more beautiful than any human voice she had ever heard. Curious, she swam towards the sound. As she got closer, Amina saw something that made her gasp. There, sitting on a rock in the middle of the ocean, was another mermaid. Her tail was a beautiful golden color, and she had long flowing hair that seemed to shimmer with all the colors of the rainbow. The mermaid saw Amina and stopped singing. For a moment, they just stared at each other in amazement. Then the golden-tailed mermaid smiled and waved for Amina to come closer. "Hello," the mermaid said in a musical voice. "I'm Zara. I've never seen another mermaid in this area before." Amina swam up to the rock. "I'm Amina," she said. I thought I was the only one too." Zara laughed, a sound like tinkling bells. "Oh no, there are many of us. We just live very deep in the ocean where humans can't find us. Come, I'll show you." Zara dove into the water and Amina followed her. They swam deeper than Amina had ever gone before. The water got darker, but Amina found she could still see clearly. Finally, they came to an amazing sight. There, hidden in a deep underwater valley, was a whole city of merpeople. There were buildings made of coral and seashells, gardens of colorful sea plants, and merpeople of all ages swimming around. Zara led Amina to the center of the city, where a grand palace stood. "This is where our queen lives," Zara explained. "She'll want to meet you." The mermaid queen was beautiful and kind. She welcomed Amina warmly and listened to her story. When Amina finished, the queen smiled gently. "Dear Amina," she said, "you are one of us. You were born to both the land and the sea, a rare and special gift. Here you can learn to control your changing so you can choose when to have legs and when to have a tail." Amina's eyes widened with hope. "Really? I can learn to control it?" The queen nodded. "Yes, with practice and patience, and you'll always have a home here with us, whenever you want to return to the sea." For the first time in her life, Amina felt truly accepted. She decided to stay in the underwater city and learn from the other merpeople. They taught her how to use her mermaid magic, how to sing the special songs that could calm storms or cool fish, and how to find the best treasures hidden in sunken ships. Amina worked hard at her lessons. Slowly but surely, she learned to control her changing. She could now choose when to have legs and when to have her tail. This new power filled her with confidence and joy. But as happy as she was in the underwater city, Amina still thought about the world above. She missed seeing the sun and feeling the warm breeze on her skin. And she thought often of Yemi, the kind boy who had helped her escape. After a year had passed, Amina went to the Mermaid Queen. "Thank you for everything," she said, "but I think it's time for me to go back to the world above, at least for a while." The Queen hugged Amina. "You'll always have a home here," she said. "Go and find your happiness, but remember, you can return any time." Amina swam to the surface and found herself near a small fishing village. Using her new powers, she changed into her human form and walked into the village. To her surprise and joy, she saw a familiar face. It was Yemi. Yemi had left the chief's service after helping Amina escape. He had come to live in his uncle's village, the very one he had told Amina about. When he saw Amina, his face lit up with happiness. "Amina!" he cried. "You're alive! I've been hoping you were safe all this time." Amina hugged her old friend. She told him everything that had happened, about the underwater city and how she had learned to control her changes. Yemi listened with wonder. "That's amazing," he said. "But aren't you afraid the chief might find you here?" Amina shook her head. "No, I'm not afraid anymore. I know who I am now, and I'm proud of it. If anyone doesn't accept me, I can always return to the sea." Yemi smiled. "Well, I accept you no matter what, and I think the people here would too. They're good people, and they could use someone with your skills and kind heart." So Amina decided to stay in the village. She started a new life there, using her mermaid knowledge to help the fishermen have better catches and stay safe in storms. At night, she would often swim out to sea and visit her friends in the underwater city. As time passed, Amina and Yemi grew closer. They fell in love and decided to get married. Amina told Yemi all about the underwater world. Sometimes she would take him swimming with her, showing him the beautiful things under the sea. Amina was happy living in two worlds. In the village, people respected her as a wise woman who knew a lot about the sea. To the Mer people, she was special because she could tell them about life on land. She had found a way to be true to all parts of herself. Years later, Amina had children of her own. She would tell them stories about her adventures. She taught them that being different was not something to be scared of, but something to be proud of. Her children grew up knowing both the land and the sea, and they were happy about their special family history. Amina used her mermaid powers to help the village. When big storms came, she would swim out and sing special songs to calm the waves. This kept the fishermen safe. She also knew where to find the best fish, so she helped the villagers catch more food. Sometimes, people from other villages would come to see Amina. They had heard stories about the amazing woman who could talk to fish and control the sea. Amina was always kind to these visitors. She taught them that the sea was not something to fear, but something to respect and love. Yemi was very proud of his wife. He never got jealous of her powers or her fame. Instead, he helped her in any way he could. He would take care of their children when Amina needed to spend time in the sea. He also helped explain Amina's powers to people who didn't understand. As Amina grew older, she became known as the wise woman of the sea. Young Mer people would come to her for advice, and so would young humans from the village. She was happy to help everyone. One day, many years later, Amina heard that Chief Adebayo was very sick. Even though he had been mean to her long ago, Amina decided to help him. She swam to a special underwater cave and found a magic pearl that could cure any illness. Amina went to the chief's town and gave him the pearl. The chief was surprised to see her, but he was even more surprised when the pearl made him feel better right away. He said he was sorry for how he had treated her, and Amina forgave him. After that, the chief became a friend to Amina's village. He would send them gifts and help them when they needed it. The village grew and became happy and rich. Amina lived a long and happy life. She got to see her children grow up and have children of their own. Some of her grandchildren were born with the same mermaid magic as her. Amina taught them everything she knew. When Amina was very old, she decided it was time to return to the sea forever. She said goodbye to her family and friends on land. They were sad to see her go, but they understood this was what she wanted. Amina swam deep into the ocean, back to the underwater city where she had first learned to control her powers. The Mermaid Queen welcomed her back with open arms. Even though Amina now lived in the sea, she still watched over her family and village. On calm nights, the villagers would sometimes hear beautiful singing coming from the sea. They knew it was Amina, still looking after them. And so, Amina's story became a legend in the village. Parents would tell their children about the kind mermaid who brought two worlds together. They taught that being different could be a wonderful thing, and that love and kindness could overcome any challenge. Amina's legacy lived on, inspiring generations to embrace their uniqueness and to always be kind to others, no matter how different they might seem. The end.